All right, now it's time for math lesson number 2. Math lesson number 2 has 12 questions. Look at the time on the video, the time mark, and let's see how long it takes us to go through this. Get all this stuff out of the way. Question number 1. A primary clarifier has a length of 12 feet, a width of 8 feet, and a depth of 15 feet. What is the volume of cubic feet of the clarifier? It wants to know what the volume in cubic feet. And this is a clarifier. This is a clarifier that has a length, a width, and a depth. So this is a rectangular structure. Let's just draw it out real quick. It has a length, it has a width, and this one has a depth of 15 feet. So we'll go to our ABC math formula sheet, and we are looking for volume in cubic feet. So let's go to volume. It's all in alphabetical order. And here we see volume of a rectangular tank equals length times width times height. So volume equals length times width times height. And in this question, it asks for the depth, which is interchangeable with height. So let's rewrite our formula with the units of measure included. We're going to have volume, and we are looking for volume in cubic feet equals the length. The length is 12 feet. Clarifier has a length of 12 feet. It has a width of 8 feet. And it has a depth of 15 feet. Let's check our equation to see if it makes sense. We are looking for the volume in cubic feet. Here we have 12 feet, 8 feet, 15 feet. 1, 2, 3. Looks like it checks out. We're looking for cubic feet. So let's do the math. 12 feet times 8 feet times 15 feet, that equals 1,440 cubic feet. Well, we're looking for volume in cubic feet. We're not looking for gallons. We're going to eliminate A and B. C and D are in cubic feet. There's a big difference between 1,440 and 10,772. The correct answer is D. Question number 2. Find the volume in gallons. Find the volume in gallons. Well, right there, it tells us what it wants us to do. Find the volume in gallons of a rectangular tank with a height of 23 feet, a width of 15 feet, and a length of 115 feet. Well, our ABC math formula sheet tells us that we want volume equals length multiplied by width times height. Now, units of measure. This becomes important to understand. We want our volume in gallons. The length is going to be in feet, the width will be in feet, and the height will be in feet. How do we convert that to gallons? Well, let's look at our ABC math formula sheet, and we'll go to the back, second to last page. And what we're looking for is, we know that if we multiply feet times feet times feet, we're going to get cubic feet, right? Which is cubic feet. How do we convert cubic feet to gallons? Well, we'll go to our conversion factors. Let's kind of make that a different color. These are our conversion factors. These are very important to understand. So, what are we looking for? 7, let's see. 1 cubic foot of water equals 7.48 gallons. We are looking for cubic feet, converting cubic feet to gallons. So 1 cubic foot of water equals 7.48 gallons. This is something that, as an operator, you want to know this. This is an important conversion factor. So I'm going to write it down right here. There are 7.48 gallons per cubic foot. Every operator should know this conversion factor. Every operator should understand that if I have a container that's 1 foot in length, 1 foot in width, and 1 foot in height, and I fill it full of water, I have a container that's 1 cubic foot, and it will hold 7.48 gallons. Okay? So let's take this formula and plug in the units of measure. We're going to do volume in gallons equals the length. The length is 115 feet. The width is 15 feet. The height is 23 feet. Now we also need to include 7.48 gallons per cubic foot, because we're going to take this and we're going to convert it to gallons. So we're going to include this factor, this conversion factor, 7.48 gallons per cubic foot. this is important. This is important to understand, because when we look at 115 feet, we can write it as 115 feet over 1. This 15 feet over 1. 23 feet over 1. Okay? I'm looking for gallons. There's no feet. It's just gallons. So I need to eliminate all three of these. I have a foot here, a foot here, a foot here. That's 1, 2, 3. Those are all above the dividing line. Over here, I have a dividing line and cubic feet. So if I have 1, 2, 3, I can eliminate this unit of measure, the second one, the third one, which eliminates this one altogether. So if I take 1 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 1 multiplied by gallons, I'm left with gallon. All right? Which, now that I have gallons, this is the unit of measure I'm looking for. So let's multiply this out. 115 multiplied by 15 by 23 by 7.48 gallons. My answer is 296,769 gallons. That's my work phone. I just got an email. We're going to ignore that for right now. Here it is. Choice C. All right, let's move on to question number 3. Calculate the volume of a rectangular tank with a length of 75 feet, a width of 55 feet, and a depth of 21.5 feet. Calculate the volume. Let's go to our math, ABC math formula sheet, and it's going to tell us that the volume is equal to, now this is a rectangular tank, so we have length multiplied by the width multiplied by the depth. Now what's interesting here is we have feet, 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 but it's asking for gallons. So we'll go back to our conversion, 7.48 gallons per cubic foot, and we're going to add it to this formula, 7.48 gallons per cubic foot. Okay, that's going to give us the length times the width times the depth times 7.48 gallons per cubic foot is going to give us our volume in gallons. Let's rewrite our formula, our equation, and stick in all that information. Whoop, I took the wrong pen, didn't I? Volume in gallons equals length. Where's our length? Tank with a length of 75 feet. 75 feet. We want width. The width is 55 feet. And And then we have a depth of 21.5 feet. And now we're going to multiply all that by 7.48 gallons per cubic foot. To make these calculations, let's go ahead and make this unit of measure feet over 1. This one is feet over 1. This one is feet over 1. Now let's cross cancel. We have feet here, feet over 1, feet over 1, feet over 1. There's 1, 2, 3 of them. The dividing line here allows us to cross cancel. Take that one out, that one, and that one, 1, 2, 3. That allows us to take out this one. Now we're left with 1 times 1 times 1 times 7.48 gallons. We're looking for gallons. Let's do the math. 75. I can't call it 75 feet. I can only call it 75. It's 75 over 1. 75 times 55 times 21.5, and then we're going to multiply it by 7.48 equals 66,380. Whoops, excuse me. 663,382.5 gallons. Right away, I'm seeing the best answer is A. In fact, it's exactly what we calculated. I should go ahead and say that the depth, 21.5. We'll stick that right there. I get a little OCD sometimes. Get a little frustrated when I miss one little tiny step. Question number 4. Calculate the volume in gallons of an 18-foot deep clarifier with a diameter of 12 feet. So we want to calculate the volume in gallons. Again, we are looking for gallons. So our ABC math formula sheet will tell us that volume is equal to length. Whoa, hold on now. This has a diameter. It's a circle. In fact, this is a volume. It has depth. It has diameter. This is a cylinder. So let's write the correct formula down from our math formula sheet. And that is going to be volume of a cylinder equals 0.785 times the diameter squared times height. Let's write that down. Volume equals 0.785 multiplied by the diameter squared, diameter times diameter, multiplied by the height. In this case, it's depth. All right, so we'll rewrite that formula with all our units of measure. Again, we're looking for gallons, so we're going to rewrite this to say volume in gallons equals 0.785 multiplied by the diameter, which is 12 feet. Clarifier with a diameter of 12 feet. We're going to write 12 over 1 feet. Let's write that again because we have to multiply it twice. Diameter 12 over 1. We'll add the height or depth. In this case, it's 18 feet deep. 18 over 1 feet. Look at that, I didn't write the feet in there. Now, we'll use our conversion factor, 7.48 gallons per cubic foot, because again, it's looking for gallons. 7.48 gallons per cubic foot. Let's cross cancel. I don't have a unit of measure here. That's a conversion factor. I have feet, feet, feet. I have cubic foot here. So we will take out the feet, 2, 3. That eliminates cubic feet. We're left with gallon, which is what we're looking for. 0.785 multiplied by 12 again, by 18, by 7.48 gallons, and we're going to get 15,219.7 gallons. 15,219, we know it's not 170. We know it's not this. 15,220, you can round up 219.7 to 220. The correct answer is B. Let's go to question number 5. Find the volume in gallons. All right, that's easy enough. We're going to find the volume in gallons of a cylinder with a diameter of 27 feet and a height of 18 feet. We have a cylinder. All right, so we want to find volume. And in the ABC math formula sheet, volume equals, this is a cylinder, 0.785 multiplied by the diameter squared, which is diameter times height. Now let's rewrite our formula with all the correct information. This is volume. Unit of measure is gallons. And this is a cylinder. I'm just going to note that right there. 0.785 multiplied by the diameter. Cylinder with a diameter of 27 feet. 27 feet over 1. Diameter. 27 feet over 1. Write it a little bit smaller there. We need the height. And the height is 18 feet over 1. And then we need our conversion factor. Cubic feet to gallons. 7.48 gallons per cubic foot. It's time to cross cancel. No unit of measure, but we have 27 feet, 27 feet, 18 feet. That's 1, 2, 3. Cancels out this. It leaves gallons. Gallons is what we want. So now I know that if I multiply these values straight across, I'm going to end up with gallons. Let's try it out here. 0.785 times 27 times 27 times 18 equals 10,300.77 gallons. The answer is D. Question number 7. Question number 6. Calculate the volume in gallons of a cylinder with a diameter of 85 feet and a height of 29.75 feet. Calculate the volume in gallons. The ABC math formula sheet tells us the volume is equal to, and this is a cylinder, 0.785 times the diameter squared, or diameter times the height, and we're looking for gallons. So let's go ahead and plug in our 7.48 gallons per cubic foot. Now we'll rewrite our formula, plug in all those values. Volume in gallons of a cylinder equals 0.785 times the diameter, and the diameter, cylinder with a diameter of 85 feet. (85 feet over 1). Diameter again, 85 feet over 1. Now we want the height, and height of 29.75 feet. 29.75 feet over 1. Then we want our conversion factor, 7.48 gallons per cubic foot. Now we'll cross cancel this out. You have 85 feet, 85 feet, 29.75 feet. We have cubic feet over here. So we're going to take out feet, feet, feet. Cross cancels this, leaves us with gallons. Gallons is what we're looking for. There's no other units of measure. So let's go ahead and calculate what the gallons are. 0.785 multiplied by 85 times 85 again times 29.75 times 7.48, and that will give us 1,262,106.71 gallons. The answer is B. B is the most correct answer in your choices. Now we're on question number 7. Find the volume in gallons. Find the volume in gallons of a cone with a diameter of 13 feet and a height of 7 feet. ABC says the volume of a cone equals 1/3 multiplied by 0.785 multiplied by the diameter squared, which is diameter times diameter, times the height. And to get gallons, we want 7.48 gallons per cubic foot. Let's rewrite that equation with all the proper values. We want volume in gallons of a cone. Right, 1/3 or 1/3 multiplied by 0.785 multiplied by the diameter cone with a diameter of 13 feet. 13 feet over 1. We'll multiply it by the diameter again. (13 feet over 1). Now we need the height. The height is 7 feet. And our conversion factor, 7.48 gallons per cubic foot. Let's cross cancel. We need gallons. So we have 13 feet, 13 feet, 7 feet, and cubic feet. I can cross cancel out that foot, that foot, that foot, and all 3 of those feet. If I do the math all the way across, I'm going to end up with gallons, which is what I'm looking for. So 1 divided by 3 times 0.785 times 13 times 13 times 7 times 7.48. That's going to equal 2,315.44. 2,315.44 gallons. 2,300. The most correct answer is A, 2,315. Now, I showed you a formula earlier, and it goes like this. Yeah, let's write it in purple. Volume in gallons of a cone equals 0.785 times the diameter, which is 13 feet, over 1. We're going to multiply it by the diameter again. 13 feet over 1 times the height, which is 7 feet over 1. And then our conversion factor, 7.48 gallons per cubic foot. So I wrote this out instead of adding the 1 divided by 3 or 1/3. I tend to do it this way. Okay. And here I want to show you that we can perform this formula and get the exact same answer. So let's cross cancel. 13 feet, 13 feet, 7 feet, cubic feet. Take out 1, 2, 3 feet. Cancels out the cubic foot. We're left with gallon. Gallon is what we want. Let's do the math. 0.785 times 13 times 13 times 7 times 7.48. That equals 6,946. But now we need to divide by 3, and that gives us 2,315.44 gallons. So you see, either way, you get the very same answer. Let's go to question number 8. A cone has a diameter of 22 feet and a height of 11.25 feet. Calculate the volume of the cone in gallons. Volume of the cone in gallons. The ABC math formula sheet is going to say that we want the volume. You need to multiply, and this is it's got a diameter. It's a cone. It's circular. So we're going to put cone here. Volume of a cone equals 1/3. Multiplied by 0.785 times the diameter squared. Diameter times diameter times the height. And we're going to multiply it by our conversion factor, because they want gallons, 7.48 gallons per cubic foot. Let's cross cancel. No, let us rewrite the formula to add in all these values. So we want volume, we want it in gallons, of the cone. One divided by 3 multiplied by 0.785 times the diameter. What is the diameter? A cone has a diameter of 22 feet. Diameter, 22 feet. 22 feet over 1. We're going to multiply by the diameter again. 22 feet over 1. Now we need the height. The height is 11.25 feet, and height of 11.25 feet. .25 feet over 1. And now we need our conversion factor, 7.48 gallons per cubic foot. Let's cross cancel. We have 22 feet, 11.25 feet, and below the dividing line we have cubic feet. So if I take out that foot, that foot, that foot, and cubic feet, they cross cancel each other out. I am left with gallons, which is what I'm looking for. Take out our calculator. 1 divided by 3 times 0.785 times 22 times 22 times 11.25 times 7.48 equals 10,657.3, and I'm going to round up, gallons. What's the most correct answer? The most correct answer is B, 10,650 gallons. All right, let's cover question number 9. A cylindrical chemical storage tank, 22 feet in diameter and 11.5 feet in depth, has a cone-shaped bottom, which is 6 feet in depth. Calculate the volume of the tank in gallons. Now, this is a cylindrical tank. And it's used for chemical storage. You'll find them in water treatment plants and wastewater treatment plants. And at the bottom of the tank, you have a cone. So the bottom of the cylinder is open to the top of the cone. When this tank is full of chemical, we monitor the depth, which gives us an idea of how many gallons we have left. Gallons or pounds, depends on how you want to measure it. At the bottom of this cone, there's usually a valve. It allows for the discharge of the chemical. Now, the least expensive form of energy is gravity. Gravity pushes down on the chemical, and as it hits the sides of the cone, it directs it all down to the center, to the nose. So, this question wants us to calculate the volume of the tank in gallons. Volume in gallons. So our ABC math formula sheet will tell us that volume is equal to, and because this is cylindrical, 0.785 multiplied by the diameter squared, diameter times diameter, times the height. And because we want gallons, we're going to throw in there 7.48 gallons per cubic foot. Now let's rewrite our formula with all these factors involved. And let's remember this is a cylinder. So the volume in gallons of a cylinder equals 0.785 times the diameter. And the diameter is, storage tank, 22 feet in diameter. (22 feet over 1). I'm going to multiply that by the diameter again. 22 feet over 1. Now we want the height. The height is, in this case, depth, 11.5 feet over 1. And to convert it to gallons, we're going to use 7.48 gallons per cubic foot. Let's do some cross canceling. I have 22 feet over 1, 22 feet over 1, 11.5 feet over 1, and I have cubic feet. Cubic feet is below the division line. These are above the division line. I can cross cancel feet, 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 and cubic feet. Now I am left with gallons, which is what we're trying to get. So let's multiply it. 0.785 times 22 times 22 times 11.5 times 7.48, and that's going to give us 32,682.44 gallons. You see the 0.438. Because of that 8, I'm just going to round up that 3 to a 4. Okay, this is the cylinder. Now we need the cone. Now take note that if you stopped right there, you would have this number, 32,682, which happens to be choice A. If you're not thinking this through, if you're not following these steps, you might stop there, answer A, and it would be incorrect. So the next step is to calculate the volume of the cone. So I want volume of a cone equals 0. Well, almost went too far. 1 divided by 3, or 1/3. Multiplied by 0.785. We're going to multiply that by the diameter squared, which is diameter times diameter. Multiply that by the height. And then because we want gallons, we're going to multiply that by 7.48 gallons per cubic foot. Okay, let's rewrite this formula out with all the variables included. So we want volume in gallons of a cone. One divided by 3 multiplied by 0.785. Multiply that by the diameter. And we know the diameter is 22 feet. 22 feet over 1. Multiply it by the diameter again. 22 feet over 1. Now we want the height, which is, in this case, the cone is 6 feet in depth. Six feet over 1, and we're going for gallons. So we're going to add the 7.48 gallons per cubic foot. Let's do some cross canceling. 22 feet, 22 feet, 6 feet, cubic feet. We can cross out 1, 2, 3. Cancel out the cubic feet. We're left with gallons, which is what we want. Let's multiply it out. 1 divided by 3 multiplied by 0.785 times 22 times 22 times 6 times 7.48 equals that was my work phone. It's a Saturday evening and yep, I still get calls. 5,683.9 gallons. Now, isn't it interesting that if I took that value right there and I look at choice number B, it's right there. I'm going to go ahead and eliminate A because we know it's not A. I'm going to eliminate B because we know it's not B. So it looks like it's going to be either 38,366 or 25,848 gallons. What's it going to be? Well, let's simply add these together because we want the combined total of the cylinder and the cone. 32,682.44 gallons. 5,683.9 gallons. Let's see what we get. 32,682.44. It's going to give us 38,366.34 gallons. Looks like the answer is C. All right, let's move on to question number 10. The volume of a tank is 10,000 gallons. What is the volume in cubic feet? We want to know what the volume, we want to know the volume in cubic feet. So let's write an equation to give us this information. Now we know that there are 7.48 gallons in every cubic foot. This is a known. The volume of the tank is 10,000 gallons. This is a known. We know these things. What we don't know, the unknown, is the volume in cubic feet. So to figure that out, let's write out this equation. What is the volume in cubic feet? Well, volume in cubic feet is equal to, and I think what we're going to do here is we're going to take 10,000 gallons and divide it by 7.48 gallons per cubic foot. Let's see if it works. 10,000 gallons, and again this is the volume, divided by 7.48 gallons per cubic foot. Let's cross cancel. We'll cross cancel and see if this works. We have a dividing line here. I can take this gallon and cross cancel out this gallon. And that's going to leave us with cubic feet, which is what we want. Now I know I'm doing it right. 10,000 divided by 7.48 is going to give me 1,336.9 cubic feet. And I can round that up to 1,337. The correct answer is D. Question number 11. Calculate the volume in gallons for a pipeline 14 inches in diameter and 2,156 feet in length. Calculate the volume in gallons. The interesting thing about this question is we have units of measure that don't add up or don't equal the same thing. I have 14 inches and I have 2,156 feet. These are two different units of measure. So the first thing I need to do is to make those units match up. Now we know there are 12 inches per foot, right? So how do we convert 14 inches to feet? We will do 14 inches divided by 12 inches per foot. I have inches and inches because there's a dividing line here. If I take 14 and divide it by 12, I'm going to end up with feet. Let's do the math and see if it checks out. 14 divided by 12 equals 1.17 feet. All right, so now instead of a pipeline 14 inches in diameter, I have a pipeline that's 1.17 feet. So the math formula sheet is going to tell us that for volume is equal to, and this is a pipeline, it's a long cylinder, so volume of a cylinder equals 0.785 times the diameter squared, diameter times diameter, times, and this is length. So instead of height, we're going to go length, and it wants gallons. We want the volume in gallons, so we're going to multiply that by 7.48 gallons per cubic foot. That's our conversion factor. Let's rewrite the equation with all the proper values. We want volume in gallons of this cylinder, a pipeline. 0.785 multiplied by the diameter. And the diameter, 14 inches in diameter, but we replaced 14 inches with 1.17. .17 feet over 1. We're going to multiply that by the diameter again. 1.17 feet over 1. Now we want the length. We're looking for the length. That length is 2,156 feet. Over 1. And we want our conversion factor, 7.48 gallons per cubic foot. Let's cross cancel. We have 1.17 feet, 1.17 feet, 2,156 feet, and we have cubic feet. Take out that unit, that unit, that unit, takes out this unit. We are left with gallons which is what we're looking for. Let's do the calculations. 0.785 multiplied by 1.17 times 1.17 times 2,156 times 7.48, and that's going to give me 17,329.73, we'll call it, gallons, because we rounded up. Let's see if that's one of our choices. 17,329. The best answer is D, 17,300. Last question, question 11, or 11, question 12. Question 12. A circular tank has a diameter of 30 feet and is 20 feet high. What is the capacity of the tank in cubic feet? We're looking for capacity, cubic feet. Well, capacity is another term for volume. It's a circular tank. It has a diameter. So the ABC math formula sheet will tell us the volume of a cylinder is equal to 0.785 times the diameter squared, diameter times the height So let's rewrite that equation with all the best information, all the knowns, the volume, and we want volume in cubic feet. 0.785 times the diameter. The diameter is, tank has a diameter of 30 feet. feet over 1. Diameter 30 feet over 1. The height and is 20 feet high. 20 feet over 1. There's nothing to cross cancel out here. We have 30 feet, 30 feet, 20 feet. 1, 2, 3 equals cubic feet. So let's multiply it out. 0.785 times 30 times 30 times 20. And that's going to give us 14,130 cubic feet. A is the correct answer. And isn't this interesting? We've been doing conversions from cubic feet to gallons. We know that none of these answers are correct. We didn't even have to do the math. I don't think I've ever seen that on a certification exam, but it's interesting that you have this answer and this answer. One is in gallons, one's in cubic feet. That's the end of lesson 2. Thanks for sticking with me. Please like my video. And if you like my videos, if it's helping you, if you see a benefit here, please subscribe. I'd like to ask you to leave a comment. Leave a comment, ask a question. I'm going to do my very best to read all the comments, and if there are questions, I'll answer them. Follow the link to my website, where you're going to find free links. You're going to find links to downloads. They're very reasonably priced. Thank you. Appreciate you sticking with me.